the Roadster. I teased it at the top. Let me tell you about this thing. So, Joe Edgell, who of course has been sponsoring the show for the last quarter. This week was the last week of that. He rents out an S and an X in the Baltimore, D.C. area, and I hope a few of you have at least taken him up on a rental there. So Joe decided to purchase a Roadster so that he would have the entire family of Teslas to rent out. So he mentions this to me and happens to mention that the car he's interested in a car in Walnut Creek, California. And I write back and say, well, Joe, that's like 50 minutes from here. If you want me to go look at it for you, I'm not a Roadster owner, but I know Teslas back to front, and I can take a look at the car and make sure there's nothing crazy going on with it. And so we set that up, and I went and looked at the car, and well, long story short, Joe ends up purchasing the car, and he says, well, I need to arrange shipping, but it could take a little while. Is it possible that you could stash it in your garage? So, well, sure, why not? I mean, because Joe says, well, you can drive the car while the shipping thing is set up. I'm like, well, that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Some garage space, a secure garage space, in return for some good time behind the wheel in a Tesla Roadster. So because I've had the privilege before of driving a Roadster. In fact, on a number of occasions, it just had weirdly worked out that way. Way back on episode 1, I told you about my initial first drive with a Tesla, which was with the Roadster because the S wasn't out yet. And I'd had a chance, my wife rented me one for the day for my birthday some years back, again, pre-Model S. So I've spent a good amount of time behind the wheel of a Roadster, and it's just wild living with one now. At least, even though it's temporary. Now, I'm extremely paranoid because it's not mine, so I'm being very careful with it. I mean, not that I wouldn't. I'm a person that takes good care of my car, so I'd be taking care of it, just as good a care of it, whether it was mine or not, because that's how I am with cars or with other people's property. But it's been interesting to drive it around because there's a lot about it that actually reminds me of my old DeLorean. I hate to keep, I know some of you probably rolling your eyes that, he always brings it back to DeLorean. It's like, well, I mean, that is my other experience with a unique vehicle in automotive history. But yeah, the Roadster, it is a fun treat if you ever get a chance to drive one, because it's, the Model S has actually the both insane and ludicrous in any of their variations blow away the Roadster from a 0 to 60 perspective at this point. The Roadster, the original variation was 3.9 seconds to 60, and then there was the Roadster Sport, which just took 2/10 off 3.7 seconds. And of course, a P100D is 2.4 seconds now in a Model S, which I have not had the pleasure of driving as of yet. But because you're